let's go ahead. We'll get started here now. Hey, Mel, welcome. Okay. Okay, so I'm actually going to have you guys start standing. We're going to do some therapeutic tremoring to start. This is a mind-body medicine practice, and I really like it. Shaking is like almost a natural way to release tension and return the body to its like normal homeostasis. When you guys start, you can hear me, right? Actually, we'll meet you guys while I'm ahead. Where is that? Mute all. Cool. All right. So when you start, I'm gonna actually just have you start with your hands. Shake out your hands, shake off your fingertips. Imagine like you're trying to shake off the meat from your hands. And as you guys start feeling loose through your fingertips, you can start letting that shake go up your arms. So include the elbow a little bit. And then you can start shaking out the shoulders, working your way up a little bit more. And adding a little bit of a bounce if it feels good. Again, if it's a little bit too much for your body, take it down a notch, but shake as much as you can. Start making it a little bit bigger of a shake. There we go. Shake your shoulders back and forth. Really let your arms go. It's okay to look silly. Nice. Now go ahead, come back to neutral with your upper body. We're going to start with our legs. So start just shaking out your ankle. Let your foot hang loose. Now let that shake work up your leg. So now we're going to be shaking through the knee and through the hip, shaking all the meat off your thighs. And go ahead, switch sides. Find your balance. Start with just a little bit with just releasing the ankle. And then once you feel comfortable here, if you need to hold on to something to kind of increase that a little bit more of a shake, go ahead, shake the meat off your bones. And then now add in the whole body. You can add in a little bit of a bounce. You can dance around a little bit. Add in that shake. Animals, they're always shaking. You see them get off the couch. They shake as they move into a new environment, shaking off that old energy, leaving themselves in the moment. A lot of times when we don't release the stress, we don't release the trauma, that's when we begin to hold on to things. So this is almost like another sense of meditation. If you don't like to sit still, you can shake it out. And it's just as good turning you in from the flight and bringing you into more of that homeostasis. Go ahead, bring yourself back to center. Slowing yourself down. Finding a nice even point between both of your feet. Open up your toes, spread your toes and place them on the floor. Shift forward and backward and find that nice even point where you feel balanced in the center. And then stand still. Take a nice inhale, filling up your breath. And then exhale like you're fogging up a meal. Sigh it out. Taking another deep inhale, feeling how your body feels. You might feel a lot of vibrations. You might feel a lot of heat. And sigh it out. Like you're blowing your breath onto you. Now I'm going to have you lift your arms up over your head. Reach up, stretch up as high as you can, like your fingertips are being pulled up towards the ceiling. Reach up even more, lift up so you're up onto your tippy toes. Take a deep breath and then slowly exhale as you fall forward. When you fall forward, release your neck. If you'd like to bend your knees slightly, do so. Don't lock your knees out. Shimmy your shoulders back and forth and ragdoll your arms, releasing all of the tension from your upper body. And then place your hands on your shins, roll your shoulders back, straighten your back as much as you can and look forward. Exhale, fall back down. Gripping your feet into the floor. Really letting all that tension hang out from your upper body. We're not holding on and pulling ourselves down. We're letting gravity do all the work. Trying to release into this forward fold as much as possible. Maybe shaking your head to the side, shaking it no, shaking it yes. And then root yourself into your body with your hands on your legs and slowly stand back up, squeezing your glutes to help bring you into the upright position. I'm going to have you clasp your hands behind your back, squeeze your shoulders together, and then begin to fall forward again. Letting your hands drop down, letting gravity give you this nice shoulder and chest opener. Taking a deep breath, and again, letting gravity pull you down closer to the earth. Imagine that your tailbone is being pulled up towards the ceiling. Again, don't worry about locking your legs out. That slight bend is okay, but try and stay long through the tailbone. Keeping the hands clasped, letting them drop overhead. Squeezing your glutes, rolling your shoulders back, leading up with your forehead, bringing yourselves all the way up into that sitting position. We're going to be lifting up your hands, crossing one leg over the other, and whichever direction you crossed, you're going to clasp your hand onto your wrist and stretch over to the side. So we're in the standing side then. Whichever leg is in the front, that's the direction we're pulling over to the side. Inhaling back up, switching legs, grabbing onto your other wrist, and lengthening over to the other side. Trying not to let yourself fall forward too much. Keep the shoulder blades open or squeezed together so your chest is open. One more deep breath. Bringing yourself back up, uncrossing your legs, and then slowly bringing yourself down onto all fours. So now we're going to be on all fours. Let me move my screen down a little bit so you can see me now that I'm on the floor. From this position, make sure that your knees are right below your hips and your wrists are right below your shoulders. We're starting here, and then I'm going to have you lift your navel, your belly button, up towards the ceiling. So you may feel that made your hips tuck. And then your heart center, lift your heart up towards the ceiling, and that causes your shoulders to space out a little bit. Now from here, with one leg, step over to the side and plant your foot flat on the floor. I'll turn this way now. We're here. So that foot is right in line where that knee was. Hold this here. I want you to engage your side leg. So the thigh, the inner thigh, squeeze your inner thigh, push your foot through the floor so we have a little bit of work going on here through this stretch. Shift your hips back so you're leaning and bringing your hips onto your heels, and then shift back forward. Shift back one more time into the foot, and then back so the shoulders are over the wrists. From here, we're going to perform some cat-cows. So with that leg out to the side, drop your stomach towards the floor as you squeeze your shoulder blades and look up. Inhale. Exhale as you tuck the hip, lift the belly button up towards the ceiling, lift the heart up, tuck your chin. Exhale. Move with your own breath. You can move quicker or slower, it's up to you, but I want you to inhale as your chin is lifting up and your hips are tilting back. And then tilt the hips under as you lift up the chest from the floor, tuck your chin under, exhale. Inhale, look up, push your hands into the floor, exhale. Continue to keep that work by pushing in through the foot. One more cycle of breath. Inhale, exhale. Bring that leg back into center and switch. We're going to step the opposite side out. So if you're on your left side, go to the right side or vice versa. Plant the foot flat on the floor. And now again, shift back. Keep the toes tucked right here. Shift back into the hips. And then bring yourself back forward onto all fours. Back into that neutral position. Shift back. Bring yourself back forward, and then one more time. Shift back so the weight is over on your heel. Nice little stretching through the toes and through the side, and then back into this neutral position. Let's go and find that position with our tailbone. So we're tucking in our hips. We're gonna space out our shoulder blades. We're gonna go from our cat, tuck the chin, and then into the cow. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, look up. Again, find your breath. Let's move with it. Squeeze the glutes, lift up to the ceiling, and then drop the chest down. We're inhaling as we look up. Again, that foot that's out to the side, keep pushing through the ground so you stay connected. And exhale. Let's do 2 more breath cycles here. Lifting up the heart center, lifting up your navel towards the ceiling. And then exhale, tilting your hips the other way. Now, from here, we're going to go back and switch legs. So the other leg is now out to the side. We're going to shift back, and the inside leg, bring your inside leg forward so you can sit down. So now we're in this almost like half split. Flex your foot so your toes are pulled up towards your face. Keep your chest up straight. And then I'm going to have you reach your arm over to the side. If you'd like to reach both arms, that's fine. Take a nice deep breath. Exhale, relax your head so your neck releases the tension. You bow your head. And then inhale, stay back up. Place your hands behind you. Lift your hips up off the floor. Open up the front of the hips. Set your hips back down. Reach over, tap your leg. Okay, reach as far as you can. If you can grab your foot, awesome. If not, just touch your ankle. We're gonna do that like 5 times. So go back, place your hands on the floor. Squeeze your shoulders together as you open your chest and lift your hips. And then set the hips back down, reach over and grab your leg. I'm gonna have you inhale as you lift your hips up. And then as you exhale, set your hips down and then reach for your leg. Now move with your own breath. Inhaling as you lift your hips up. Setting your hips back down. Exhaling as you reach over. There we go. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhaling up. And then exhaling down and over. Last one. Inhale up. Squeeze your shoulders together as you open your chest to lift the hips up. And then exhale over down to the side. Hold this. We're going to take 3 breath cycles here. Every time you breathe, exhale down and let gravity do its work to pull you deeper into the stretch. You don't have to force the stretch, but relax into it. As soon as we finish those 3 breaths, walk yourself up, and we're just going to switch legs. Open one side, and then fold in the other leg. Try and like straighten your spine if you need to, if you feel a little bit of crooked. And then you can go and then start straight, reach over to the side and bend here. And then again, only if you like and it feels good, you can add that other arm, or you can work on keeping your chest open and just keep your head here. There we go. Take a deep breath. Exhale down, release the tension down. Folding over to the side, keeping that foot flexed, easily walking your way up, and we're going to start moving with our breath, placing your hands behind your body, squeezing your glutes, lifting your hips up, opening up the hip flexors, opening up the front of the hips, setting your hips down, and then reaching over to the side, exhaling as you do so. Back to the breath with the movement. You're moving again at your own speed. And exhale back over. Again, I want about 5. 5 of these. Should be on number 3 or so. Exhaling over, flex your toes, reach over to the side, and inhale up. Let's do another 2 reps. Open the chest as you pick your hips up and reach over. Open up the chest. Squeeze the glutes so you can really get that hip flexor open. There we go. Finish that last cycle. And after you finish that last breath, opening up the chest, lifting the hips, you're gonna go and hold, reach over as far as you can. And again, release your neck, fall into the stretch. Breathe. If you're not breathing, your body is again holding tension. We just shook it out the tension, so we don't want to cause any more right now. Although there always will be tension, because if there's not tension in your body, then you probably are a blob of goo. Bringing yourself back up. We're now going to open both legs in front of us. And then I'm going to have you start falling forward and going as forward as far as you can, dropping the neck down. Flex your feet. Don't forget to engage your feet here. And then try and get a little bit lower and reach forward as you exhale. You can straighten your back, walk yourself up, align your spine again, and then take yourself down, trying to keep yourself as straight as you can. And as soon as you hit the point you can't stay straight, then you can fall forward and let gravity do the rest of the work. Feet are flexed. Even if that means your knees aren't straight completely, that's okay. If the knees have a little bit of a give into them, they don't need to be locked out here. Take another breath and notice where that breath fills. Is it towards the sides of your ribs? Do you feel it expand through the back of your ribs? On your next breath, walk yourself up. Bring your legs together. Place your hands behind you. Squeeze your shoulders, and just like we did before, we can point our toes and we're just gonna lift our hips. Let your neck hang back only if it feels good. Take a breath here, drop the hip down, and then reach forward towards your toes. Notice how this first forward fold feels. Keep your toes flexed. Let your neck hang low. Slowly bringing yourself back up, placing your hands behind you, rolling your shoulders back, pointing your toes, squeezing your glutes. Lots of activity here, pushing your feet through the floor, pushing your palms to the floor. Take a full deep breath, and as you exhale and let go of that breath, place the hips down on the floor and reach forward again. This time, connect wherever you can connect. If it's just onto your ankles, that's okay. If you can reach past your ankles and past the knees into your feet, that's awesome. Keep the foot flexed. Bringing yourself back up, hands behind you, point your toes, roll your shoulders back, lift the hips. Last time we're gonna do this, push your feet into the floor, let the neck hang back, only if it feels good. Hold this here. I want 2 breath cycles. Full inhale, full exhale. Keep your legs engaged. Finish that second breath. Place your hips down. Slowly bring your head up and fall forward, reaching forward. This time holding this one a little bit longer. Imagine your shoulder blades are being pulled up by your ears and then dropping forward. Feeling that space created all the way down the side body, through the lat maybe, all the way down the spine. Might be able to feel this stretch from your cranium to your sacrum to your toes and your heels. Keep the feet flexed, pulling towards your face as you're here. I want the lower body active, but the upper body super relaxed over the lower body. A few more breaths here. If you stop breathing, release the stretch a little bit. Find the place where you can keep your breath flowing and stay there. And exhale, drop a little bit lower. Notice where that next breath fills. Does it fill through your shoulders? Does it feel through the ribs, in through the belly? It doesn't matter where it goes, just notice. slowly begin to walk yourself back up. Roll over back onto all fours. And then we're just going to shift the hips side to side real quick. Let the heels drop with the shift of the hips. So once you're on all fours, your hips shift, the heels shift, and then just go side to side. Nice. From here, drop down onto your forearms. And then slide one leg back and the other leg out to the side. So now one leg is bent and it's to the side of us, and the other leg is straight back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and look up. The leg that's out to the side, try and push it into the ground, reaching it away from you even more, like someone's pulling your leg to the side. Keep your elbows squeezed together and pushed into the earth to keep the activity. Drop your forehead down to the floor, release that stretch. Bring your palms to the ground and switch legs. Slide that leg back and then just slide the other leg forward. Place the forearms back on the floor. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Reroot through this pose. Push the knee into the floor. And again, like someone's pulling it away from you. The elbows are being pulled together and pushing into the ground to keep the shoulders pinched together. And that way you can lift your chest up and really lengthen through the spine as it is through this extension. Look up if it feels good with your eyeballs and your chin. Take a breath there. And then fall down. Let your forehead go down to the floor. And then pressing yourself, or just let that leg slide back. Now with the forearms on the ground here, with both legs back, up into that low sphinx pose one more time. Bringing some activity into the arms. Now I'm gonna have you drop back down. Keep the activity through the elbows. Your feet are flat onto the floor. See if you can lift up your body, except for the tops of the feet and your forearms. Push into the ground. Notice what you have to engage to pick yourself up. Slowly drop down. Roll the shoulder blades together and look up. Push into the ground. Bring your body back into neutral. Lift your thighs up off the floor. Push through the tops of your feet. Push through your forearms and your elbows. Lift up. Keep your breath moving here, even if it's a more short, shallow breath. Adding a little bit of a shakiness maybe. Drop down again. Bring your palms to the floor and then just lay down. Notice how you feel. Now push yourself up into all fours. We're going to bring one leg forward. So we're into this low lunge. Now, we're going to be in this low lunge for a little bit, going through some transitions. If your back knee is uncomfortable, you can always put in a little pillow or fold in, if you're on a yoga mat, fold up your mat for you, and that'll make it a little bit more comfortable. I'm going to start with a little bit of a breathing drill. So while you're here, just make sure your knee is over your ankle, and then our hips are over that back knee, and we can stand up tall here. Now, when you're in this position, your back pocket, shift it forward so we go from this tilt, and then we can tuck our hip under. So your back pocket's being pulled down. From this position, you don't want to shift forward, okay? So you saw I shifted. That's not what I'm looking for. I just want you to lean forward, okay? So after you tilt the hip under, the shoulders and upper body are gonna just shift forward. So notice the lower body stayed here. I'm not gonna go here and slide into the stretch. I'm just gonna shift my weight forward. Shifting that weight forward slightly opens the back of the rib cage a little bit. You might all of a sudden notice that the front leg is working a lot harder, and stay here. Reach forward, and as you exhale, imagine someone's pulling your arms. Inhale, expand the rib cage. And exhale, imagine someone's pulling your arms forward again. Exhale and reach. One more breath here. Keep that front leg super active. Exhale and reach the arms forward. Open the shoulder blades away from each other. And now from this point, we can go bring ourselves back up to neutral and then begin shifting forward into that front leg. So now go ahead, let that shift happen. And you can stay here or you can reach your arms up overhead if the balance feels like it's there for you. Take a deep breath. Push yourself back up and then straighten that front leg as you fall forward with your upper body. Let the neck hang heavy. Keep your foot flat on the floor. Begin shifting your weight forward. I'm going to have you tuck your back foot. Once you do that, step up and straighten that leg again. So now that same position we were just in, but now the back leg and the front leg are as straight as we can get them. Push that back heel towards the floor. And then start dropping the back knee, shift into that front leg again. Bring both arms to the inside of your leg. I'm gonna switch and turn this way. So now we're in this low lizard pose. Let the knee drop over to the side. Root yourself into that, and then give yourself a slight twist. Look back behind your body. Take a deep breath. Now, if you'd like to go a little bit deeper into this pose, you can drop down onto your forearm or stay where you are. Take a deep breath. Bring yourself back into neutral. That leg that's forward, you're just gonna drop down to the floor. So that knee is by your hand, the foot is towards the inside of your body. The back leg is still stretched and lengthened behind you. Straighten up as much as you can. If you'd like to reach around and try and bend the back knee and hold onto your foot, do so. That's just gonna deepen this stretch a little bit more. If you can't reach your foot, you can always just bend your knee and keep your hands down so the leg is bent if you're not reaching. That reach will just add that stretch a little bit more. Find your breath again. Make sure you haven't lost it. Drop that back leg down if you have it. Bring your hand back around and begin falling forward into this pigeon. Dropping into the hips. Maybe shifting side to side, feeling if one position has more tension, more tightness than the other. If it does, spend time in that position. Let the necks relax. Going back to the breath. As you inhale, feeling where the expansion takes place. Slowly begin walking back up, and we're just gonna go and switch sides. We can bring ourselves back into an all-four position, shift our hips around, move in circles, and then just bring that other leg forward. So we're just switching our lunge. And then we're gonna start with that reach. So bring yourself up into this position. If you need something behind that back knee, get something. First thing we're gonna do is notice what your hips are doing, okay? Your hips can tilt back and forth. I need you to imagine your back pocket is being pulled down. So your hips are rotating. We're going into a posterior pelvic tilt, all right? Now from here, reach forward, slight lean. Again, we're not shifting in through the lower body. We're just leaning forward with the upper body. And you'll feel the activity change in that front leg. And then we start to breathe here. You might feel your abs on. Reaching forward just helps you feel that expansion happen through your back rib cage a little bit more. So as you exhale, imagine someone's pulling your arms forward. Inhaling and exhaling. Lots of activity happening here in that front leg, into your abs. Notice what else you're feeling. We're just taking 3 breaths here, so finish whichever breath you're on. That third breath, exhaling, reaching forward, and then bringing yourself back forward. We can now shift into that low lunge, okay? So now you can shift your body forward, and from here, if it feels good to reach your arms up overhead, you can do so. Taking a full deep breath cycle, letting the air fill up, and then feeling the pressure as you exhale. Placing your hands on the inside of your leg now. And then you can start dropping that leg out to the side. Like before, if it felt good and you bent that back knee, you can do that, or you can grab it, or maybe not, and you just stay here, focusing more on just letting that front leg hang out. Again, you can also add that twist in as you grab into the leg. And then wherever you are, going back to the breath. Bringing your hands back around, straightening that front leg, and shifting back. Stretching through the front leg, shifting back forward. We can pick the back knee up, and then shift back again, straightening the front leg. So now both legs are straight and pushing the heel back down towards the floor as much as you can. Taking a deep breath here. Relax your head if you can. Dropping that back knee. And then we can bring that knee down to the floor, lining up with that hand and sliding the other leg back. Starting up nice and tall, rolling the shoulder blades back, breathing here. Trying to align your hips so one's not twisting over more than the other, but they're both facing that same way. So it's increasing the stretch rather than twisting with the stretch. And then fall forward if it feels good. You can drop down onto your forearms. You can drop down and start reaching your arms forward. Maybe shifting side to side, seeing where you feel more of a stretch and holding it there on that side. Bringing both hands to the floor, walking yourself back up, and then into a downward dog position. Dropping your neck, letting your head hang heavy. Taking a deep breath here, and then slowly walking your feet in towards your hands. Leaving yourself right here in a forward fold. Trying to lift the tailbone up towards the ceiling as much as you can. Again, you do not have to lock your knees out. You can keep that slight bend. Relax your head. And notice how this forward fold feels different, maybe the same as the other ones you've done today. I'm going to have you start walking your feet out, so heel toes, so you go into a little bit wider of a position. And then you're walking your hands. Walk your hands towards one side as you start bending your knee and dropping over into this low side lunge. Now, if your heel is up off the floor, that's okay, but you are a little bit more unstable here. Try and see if you can flatten the foot out. If not, that's okay. And then bringing yourself up and back into center and shifting over, bending one leg, pushing over from the other into the other side. Low lunge on the other side. It's okay if this foot comes up. You can try and keep it flat on the floor. Same with your other one. If you notice your heel came up, maybe try shifting your weight back. You might have to reach forward more to counteract that shift in weight and see if you can get your foot flat. If not, it's okay. Bringing yourself back up and over into the center, and then dropping down into the other side. Shifting down, squatting down into that lateral lunge. Again, if the foot comes up, that's fine. You might feel the stretch shift if the foot does come up. If that foot is down and flat on the floor, you will feel it in towards the abductors a little bit more. If you turn your toes up and flex your foot, then you will feel it in your hamstring a little bit more. So you can kind of play with how that sits as well. And then bringing it up and shifting it over to the other side. And just notice what kind of things your body has to do to bring yourself into that position. Play around with if your foot is up off the floor or down. Take a breath here, and after you finish that exhale, bringing yourself back up into the center. Clasp your hands behind your back, drop your neck down, and hang heavy. Squeeze your glutes, pick yourself up, place your hands on your low back, push your hips forward as you do a slight back bend. Just a slight back bend. Feel those hips open. Support the lower back by having your hands on your lower back right here. And then standing up, shifting your hands or your weight backwards, hands clasp and fall forward. Exhale. Inhaling, squeezing up. Giving yourself one more back bend, rolling your shoulders back as you support your lower back with your hands. Squeeze your glutes. Lift your chest up towards the ceiling. And then squeeze their glutes to stand back up. Push the hips back. Clasp your hands, forward fold one more time. Let the neck hang heavy. Maybe shake your head yes and no. Release your hands. And we're just going to go side to side now. So we're not holding it. I want you to push yourself over to the side in that one lateral lunge, those low lunges. So push yourself over. Pick your hips up. Walk over to the other side. Drop over. Pick yourself up to the other side. There you go. I want about 4 passes on each side. Good. That's about 2. There we go. Side to side for 3. And then one more time on each side. Side to side for 4. Now bring me back in the middle. Heel toe your feet back together. And then go on to all 4s. Drop yourself down to on 4s. Once we're here, I'm going to have you drop your one hand in, and we're going to just give a slight twist. So we're going to weave our hand, drop your shoulder to the floor, drop your head to the floor. If you can, turn and look up and drop the back of your head to the floor. That'll increase the stretch a little bit. But if that's uncomfortable, you can just keep your ear on the ground. Press into the floor with your other hand and look over your shoulder as much as possible. Inhaling up, open up, twist up, look up towards your fingertips as they reach up towards the ceiling, and then place your hand on the floor, switch sides. Weave the other hand, drop your shoulder to the floor, drop your ear, or look over the shoulder a little bit more and drop the back of the head. Root yourself into the ground by pushing in to increase that twist. Taking a breath here, completing the cycle and then pushing into the ground, opening up the hand, twisting open, looking up towards your fingertips, and then bringing yourself back to neutral. All right, we're gonna go onto our butt. So however you feel like bringing yourself there. And we're gonna be doing some like passive like range of motion lifts. So if you have like if anything like a water bottle or maybe a pillow or a block or anything to use, that's good. If not, then just imagine that you have something in your way. I'm gonna have you start by bringing one leg in and then the other leg straight in front of you. If you have an object, it's gonna be placed right next to your ankle on the outside of your leg. If you need to, you can put your hands behind you so you can lean into it, but it's harder if you try and stay upright. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna lift our foot up, over, tap the ground, and then up, over the other side, okay? Try and control that as much as possible. We're gonna be moving through it kind of slow. Again, if you need to lean back as you're lifting and lowering that leg, that's fine. We're gonna do about 10 together. So sit up tall as you can, lift up, over, tap, lift as high as you can, tap. If you have an object, it's just gonna keep you accountable. There's 3, tap, 4, up and over, tap, 5, up and over, 6, try not to let any part of your body move other than your leg. 7, up and over, up, I almost knocked my water over. 8, there you go, tap, 9, feel that leg working, up, 10. Now, sit up tall, place your hands behind you, lift your hips up again, open up that hip flexor. Drop your hips, just flex your foot, reach forward, and now we're gonna switch. Bring the other foot in, other leg out, flex the foot up. Wherever you are, once you're centered, that object you're dodging goes right to the outside of your ankle. Again, if you need to, you can lean back, but try and stay up as right as possible, and don't let anything else move. Here, let's go for 10. Up, over 1, there you go, up, over 2, as controlled as you can. Up, over 3, try not to go and pass through. There we go. About number 5, or maybe 4, I don't know, I lost track. There we go, number 6. Number 7, stay as still as you can, up and over. Number 8. Number 9, there we go. Number 10. After that's finished, place your hands behind you, roll your shoulders back, lift the hip up, open up the hip flexor. Place it back down on the floor, reach forward, touch your toes. Now, we're gonna stand up, so get yourself ready to stand. We're gonna do one more of those, and then I'm gonna slow you down a little bit. All right, so when you're standing, you're just gonna go lift one leg up and pull it into your chest. So I'm gonna challenge your balance a little bit. If you need to hold on to something or lean up against a wall, that's fine, do it. So you're just gonna hold your knee into your chest, all right? Now, I'm gonna have you try and keep your knee as high as you can, but I'm gonna have you let go of your knee and we're gonna hold it for 3 seconds, okay? So ready, set, let go, hold it where it is. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, grab on, try and pull it closer. This time we're holding it for 4 seconds. Ready, let go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Grab on, try and pull it a little bit closer, keep it high. You might notice you get it closer, maybe not. Keep it there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently set it back down. Shake the leg out. We're gonna switch sides. All right, bring that leg up. Hold your knee into your chest. Hold it there for a second. Find your balance. Once you find your balance, first hold 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Grab the knee, try and pull it in a little bit closer. Readjust your balance, readjust your posture. Here we go, 4 seconds, high as you can. 4, 3, 2, 1. Grab it, pull it in a little bit closer. Stay up tall. Last one. 5 seconds, here we go. Let go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Slowly drop it down to the floor. Shake it out. Nice work on that, you guys. We're gonna end the same place we began with that shake out. So I'm gonna start with your hands. Start with your hands, start with your fingertips. Shake these out, letting your fingertips hang heavy. Imagine that you're shaking the meat off your arms. And then start increasing. Add in your elbows, add in your shoulders. Maybe you add in a little bit of a twist. Shake that out. Yeah, this is very primal. We are taught from a young age to hold it together. Stop crying, don't be such a baby. Come on, put your face on and toughen up. But sometimes it's good just to shake out and let it go. There we go, start shimmying, let the arms hang loose. Maybe start bouncing side to side. There you go. Now plant your feet. I want you to start shaking it low. Let your arms ragdoll down. Shift your hips side to side. And then start slowing that shake down as you bring your feet a little bit closer together. And then we're just gonna calm that movement down into our forward fold. Taking a deep breath here and noticing how your body feels. Those slight vibrations, shaking out your nervous system, preparing it to make new connections. Letting your body know that this is a safe space. Squeezing your glutes, lifting your hands up overhead, taking a deep breath, and then bringing yourself back forward, placing your hands on the floor, dropping down so you're on all fours, and then dropping your hips over. So now we can go and lay down onto our backs. Lay down on your back. Or lay down. Keep your palms up or on your belly, wherever you're most comfortable. And I'm gonna have you drop your neck or drop your head over to the side, stretching out your neck, bringing your chin over to your shoulder. If you'd like, you can use one hand and pull your head over a little bit. Very passive stretch here. If you held your head, release that arm and start bringing yourself back into a neutral position. And then begin looking the other way, dropping your head to the other side, over to the opposite shoulder. And if it felt good to add in that little pressure with your arm, do so. You can grab onto your head and tilt it over a little bit more. I feel this stretch all the way down your neck into your shoulders. Taking one more cycle of breath here. And then slowly release and bringing yourself back into neutral position. I'm gonna have you reach both hands up off the floor. And as you exhale, imagine someone's pulling your hands up towards the ceiling so your shoulders actually come up off the floor. So you exhale, someone's pulling you up. You might have felt your abs engage. If your abs are on, release them. Try and keep that shrug without too much tension in your abdominals right now. There's a time and a place for abs, but we don't want to use them too much right now. Trying to release your belly as much as you can. Every exhale, you reach up a little bit further. And as you inhale, just think about where the expansion in your body happens. One leg at a time, bend your knees and place your feet flat on the floor. Adjust your pelvis so you can connect your lower back to the floor. And then just relax, okay? Again, try not to use your abs to keep your back on the floor right now. We bent our knees so we can get ourselves into a more neutral position. And then that way we can create this opening of our back to increase the space for the air. Paying attention. Are your abs on? Release them if they are. Relax, and then exhale and try and reach up a little bit more. Each inhale, feeling that expansion and noticing where that expansion happens. One more breath, fully inhaling and exhaling all the oxygen. And as you exhale, you can drop your hands and place your hands onto your belly. Drop both knees towards one side and let that twist open through the hips, even if one hip kind of lifts up and hikes up more than the other. Let gravity drop the knees down to that side. Pick your knees up and then drop them over to the other side. Take a breath cycle here. Bringing your knees back to center. Now, there's going to be a couple approaches to this next movement. You need to pick which one's best for you and for you today. So we can start here just lifting our hips up, lifting our glutes up, and then clasping our hands behind our body, squeezing our shoulders, and we are in this position, okay? This is option number one. This is going to be the easiest way to go. If you'd like to take this up a little bit more, you can start bending your knees, place your hands by your hips, push your hips up. So then we're going to go into this almost this inversion, okay? That's what I'm going for. If you can straighten your legs up overhead, you can support your lower back and just straighten up. And then if you like, you can keep them there, or you can drop your legs down behind your head over into the floor, okay? So we have that position, we have this position, or we could just stay right here with this position. All right, just a little bit of an inversion, getting some nice blood flow through the head. Tuck your chin into your chest, keep your chin tucked. And try and breathe the best you can here. We're gonna be here for a few more seconds. Just refreshing, reoxygenating the blood in our brain. If you guys have your head or your legs over your head, slowly begin to drop them back down. Drop your hips back to the floor. Keep your feet straight, so lengthen your feet. Now we're gonna go into the fish pose. So actually I want you to bend your knees, I'm sorry. So lift your hips up, clasp your hands behind your back, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and then now we can tilt our head, lift up your back and tilt your head onto the floor, okay? Now, from here, if you'd like, you can straighten your legs. This makes it a little bit more intense. So your hands are by your lower back or on your glutes. You can keep your knees bent, or you can keep your legs straight. Going for that arch in the back to then go and place the crown of your head on the floor. And try and breathe. Notice again where the air is going as you're breathing in these different positions. It's not here for long, so try and get one more breath. And then push into your elbows, tuck your chin into your chest, and slowly drop yourself back down to the floor. Release your hands out to the sides. Palms up towards the ceiling. Or if you feel more comfortable with your hands on your belly or on your chest, completely up to you. I'm going to have you bend your knees once again. Now this time bring the insides or the bottom of your feet together. Letting your knees drop open and hang over to the sides, and let gravity give you that stretch. Not forcing too much, but letting them hang open. Taking a deep breath in through your nose. And when you exhale, like you're blowing your breath on a glass to fog up the glass. Inhaling again for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1 at the top. And now exhale, side out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
8. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding that breath at the top. And exhaling. 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhaling. Last counted breath. 2, 1. Hold there for 1 at the top. And exhale the air out once again. Last time with this almost forced exhale. 7, 8. Letting your breath go back to its normal flow wherever it feels comfortable. If your hands aren't on your body, I want you to place them on your rib cage. And as you take these next few breaths, this is the last chance to really notice where those breaths fill. How does your body move when you take these inhales? Does your ribs expand to the side? Do you feel your rib cage lift up more than it expands out? Is it more of a rise and fall? Or is it more of an opening, closing? Is there any place where the breath feels like it's holding on, that you can't quite fill all the way up? When you exhale, just relax and let the breath flow out easily. Not trying to force anything. Do the ribs expand in a 360-degree motion? Or do you feel your belly lift more? Just notice. If you can feel your heartbeat, maybe notice the synchronous that the heartbeat has with your breath. And how your breath really can control the heartbeat. As the breath slows down, the heartbeat will slow. Bringing your knees together slowly and then extending your legs out so you're lengthened. And then I'm going to have you place your hands together behind your head. So you're like gazing up at the clouds. Taking a deep breath in, and your next exhale, fold your elbows in together. Begin pulling your chin into your chest and lifting your head up, and tuck up as much as you can. Just adding slight pressure behind your head to just increase that stretch a little bit more. Inhaling, drop down, open the elbows, lay flat on the floor. And then exhaling, tuck the elbows in, tuck the chin in, lift up as much as you can, like you're trying to pull your forehead to your belly button. Your abs are working hard here. Exhaling and release. We're going to do that one more time. Using your abs to pick yourself up as you fold your elbow and pull your chin to your chest. Lift up as much as you can. Leave your lower body out of this. Keep the tension in your abs as you push your belly button towards the floor. And then relax. You can release your hands if you'd like, or you can keep them there. And before I leave you today, I want you to do a quick body scan. Starting with your toes, wiggling your toes around, feeling how those toes feel. Can you move your left side more than your right side, or is your right side more coordinated than your left side? Then work up and move around your ankles. Circle your ankles. Circle them one way, circle them the other way, make some figure eights. Now just shimmy out your knees by flexing your quads and releasing your quads. Shift side to side, start feeling the roll of your hips on your glutes. Relax that lower body and then start feeling your abs. Shift your shoulders around, bend your elbows. Relax those and place your hands on the floor and then just wiggle your fingers. Fingers only. Fingers and wrists only. Add in the wrists. Now work your way up and then just shift your head side to side. Turn your head side to side. Last little point to check in with. And then bring your head back to neutral. Make sure your toes are relaxed. Make sure the point between your eyebrows, release that tension. And then notice what your tongue is doing. Is it pushing up against the roof of your mouth, by your teeth, or towards the back of your throat a little bit more? And relax that. I'm going to have you fill up one more time with me. We're going to take a deep inhale, filling up as much as you can, and sigh it out as much as you can. Make some noise. Ah. Taking one more breath in silence. And letting that fall out gracefully with no control. Feeling your body heavy onto the floor. And then begin to roll over to your side by bending your legs. And you can press yourself up, moving slowly. And that is all from now on. Continue throughout your day. Great job, guys. Y'all are all muted, but that's fine. You did good. I hope you enjoyed class. Hope you have a good Memorial Day weekend. Whoop, whoop. They're already playing. Right?
Have a good weekend.
Yeah, there you go. There you are. Love you guys. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Unless you're not in the same place, then it could be.
Bye. Thanks, Megan.
Yeah, thanks, Sheila.
Thanks, Megs. Bye.
Bye. Love you, Dad.